Hello, 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 folks. Good evening. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to another live of Brazen Insights with Asia. I I don't have much planned for today, but I had to go live and offer my reaction to Donald Trump's pick for DHS Secretary. Now, most people are saying that it's not sure yet, even though most of the mainstream media, but let's call it a spade, if they got it wrong on the election, 9 chances out of 10, they haven't proven that this pick is actually the one that Trump is going to go for the DHS secretary position. You only know it's verified if Donald Trump pretty much puts it out on his Truth Social account, right? That's how things get verified if this is legit or not. But let's pretend that for just today it's legitimate, right? Like it's been confirmed that the person he chose to be the Department of Homeland Security, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, is actually Kristi Noem. Now, a lot of people got a lot to say about this woman, but I have to say it, and I couldn't wait to post an episode tomorrow. I had to react to it today, and I do have a couple of clips that I want to show with you all because I haven't forgotten how great Kristi Noem actually is. And people, unfortunately, like to memory hole everything nowadays. It's like short attention spans, short term memory. They don't remember how great she actually was in this country during one of the most terrible times for my generation. And I'm a millennial, and I'm talking about COVID, right? This one individual, Kristi Noem, is by far the only individual that stood up for citizens' freedoms and respected that. And people just forgot it. And I have to react to it because I'm sick and tired of the reactions that I'm getting, even from conservatives. It's like this memory holding crap is type irritating. And I don't know about the rest of you, but God knows that sometimes I feel like the American people don't deserve a woman like her to be in government because of how terribly that they're treating her talent as it. And when I say her talent, I don't mean her political animal instincts. I mean her talent to stand up for what's right, for her to stand up for the freedoms of the American people. And I don't know about you guys, but I am sick and tired of the commentary from both sides of the aisle. And it's specifically more irritating coming from the so-called conservative right. Your fault why you can't achieve it. Because you've been sitting here blaming whites. Oh, it's the white man. It's systemic racism why I can't have generational wealth. Amen and hallelujah to that. Amen and hallelujah. Okay, you guys, we have entered the season of perpetual hope, and I would love for you guys to donate your dollars and be of service this holiday season. Roots Retreat House is a behavioral health clinic that I am a part of, and we are looking to raise about $1,000 so that we can home cook meals for Thanksgiving to provide to anyone who's living on the streets in Tarrant and Dallas County here in Texas. So if you're willing to, ladies and gentlemen, I will be making the link available in the comment section very shortly. But right now, I have to jump into my rant about Kristi Noem being the pick for the DHS secretary. I gotta say it. I wasn't expecting it. I don't think anybody was expecting Kristi Noem to be chosen for this position, honestly. I wasn't actually looking at her for that position. To be honest with you, I didn't know Kristi Noem was going to have a role to play in the Trump administration outside of working with him as governor to president, just like we saw when he was in the White House back in 2017 to 2020. Like, I didn't expect anything more than that. But when I woke up this morning and I'm on my way to work, obviously I had released an episode and I was reacting to a panel done by Anton Daniels, but that's neither here nor there. I'm on my way to work and I see that Kristi Noem may be picked. Like she's on the short list for the DHS secretary position, and it's looking like that's the pick that Donald Trump is going to go with. Now, this channel is not very political, right? I particularly like to focus on cultural issues. But as my banner always says, I talk about everything politics, pop culture, as well as politics. It's play on words. So we're going to cover the things coming out of the Trump administration because these are the things that are important to me. And I do believe if you're someone who sees the correlation between culture and policy, then it's important to have a channel that's going to talk about both. And that's what you're going to get here on Brazen Insights. And to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't like it, you can hop off this channel. I don't really do this for likability. I do it because I have an opinion like everyone else. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, excuse my French. But I have no problem putting it out there. And this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but I am so sick and tired of the mud being thrown at Kristi Noem. And it's particularly over that damn memoir she put out when she talked about shooting a Cujo. And there's a reason why I say a Cujo. But before I offer any more of my opinion on this, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to show you a clip where I believe this is coming from the New York Post, where they are reporting that she could be picked for this position, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Before I give you my opinion on this story that's being covered by them, I'm going to show you this first and then give you my opinion. So let's go ahead and pull this clip. I'm so fed up with a lot of the conservative media, and I will be showing you some of the comments I've been seeing from the conservative media. But first, I want you guys to kind of get like an impartial take on the story of her being picked. So here we go.
South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem is expected to be tapped as Donald Trump's new Homeland Security Secretary. Known for her loyalty to Trump, Noem has been a strong ally. Now she's set to take on a major role in Trump's administration, overseeing border security, one of Trump's biggest campaign promises. Noem serving her second term as governor.
Now, before I let this continue, because YouTube got a pause and play thing for copyright, a lot of the media is saying that it's a big job. We got to see how she's going to handle it. Not your legacy media like NBC and CNN and all the rest of them. They're covering the controversy as it relates to her scandal and why that scandal doesn't make her good for this position. Whereas you got the conservative media. I'm specifically talking about Fox News because I really don't watch Fox, but I do like to watch the Five. And I'm kind of disappointed in the commentary coming from Judge Jeanine Pirro and Jesse Waters. I expected to get what I got from Jessica, and I will show you guys that clip because that bothered me like nobody's business. But if she were on the short list to be the vice president of the United States of America, why are we questioning her ability to be the secretary of the Department of Homeland Security? She was about to have Kamala Harris' job. Had it not been for that scandal, she could have been the job. She could have been the vice president, and she would have done it better than Kamala Harris. And not to just make those comparisons, but if we're going to put a woman in the job, a woman who is leaning conservatively on policy and respects freedom, we'll get to that in a second. She's the perfect pick for the vice presidency, and she was my pick. She's who I wanted. So when JD Vance was chosen, I was a bit upset about that because I wanted Kristi Noem, and it definitely didn't help that the reason why she didn't get it was over the stupid scandal, which the New York Post is going to talk about in this little clip that they put out. Let's go.
Brings experience and reputation for a tough decision, but she also has her share of controversy. She faced backlash earlier this year after revealing in her memoir that she once shot her 14-month-old hunting dog, citing the dog's aggressive personality as the reason. She later defended her decision on social media, calling it a difficult but necessary choice. If officially appointed, Noem would lead the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees Customs and Border Protection, ICE, the Secret Service, and FEMA. In this role, she'll work closely with Tom Homan, Trump's newly announced border czar, and Stephen Miller, who is set to serve as the White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy with a focus on immigration. Homan and Miller are known for their hard-line stances on immigration, and both have been tasked with...
Yeah, I'm gonna stop this story there, but you get the gist, right? He's named his border czar and his deputy chief of staff. We know we're looking at Kristi Noem to be the secretary, meaning that these three are going to be working very closely together as it relates to that border. Now, the DHS secretary does more than just oversee what's happening with the border, right? They're looking over TSA, they're looking over the Secret Service, they're also looking over, Border Patrol. Why people think she can't handle this job is beyond me. Like, why are we questioning her ability to do the job? I don't get it. Not only was she a governor and ran her state perfectly, because this is a state that is sitting on a surplus of millions of dollars compared to Gavin Newsom in California and Wicked Witch of the East in New York. And looking at Illinois, specifically the city of Chicago, Kristi Noem is kicking ass as far as a governor is concerned. And as a governor, you are overseeing multiple departments because you're the governor. You are the CEO of your state. And she was on the short list to be the vice president of the United States. So why are we questioning her ability to do the job as the secretary of DHS is beyond me. And you saw how the New York Post brought up the controversy about her shooting her family dog. Listen, everybody likes to watch Yellowstone, right? We love our Westerns. We love our old movies. We love to see, rugged Americans back in the 1800s, 1700s, really roughing it out. And the thing about that is the second you get a story of a politician who lives that way in today's society, now it's a problem. She shot Cujo. This is not like, a little pet dog that you keep in your house and can carry around in your pocketbook. This dog she has for hunting. This dog has a job to do. And instead of doing the job that it's here to do, it's attacking her children. It's attacking her. It's attacking the livestock by her neighbor's ranch. This dog isn't doing its job. And so she's got to make the tough choice and put it down. She shot Cujo. Black people didn't care about this when she was being looked at as the vice president pick. No Black person cared that she shot Cujo. On the contrary, dogs would starve before I would go touch the dog because of how violent they are. This dog was meant for hunting and couldn't do that right. So she put it down because it was violent. Why are you mad? It may have cost her the pick for the vice presidency. But her shooting a Cujo has nothing to do with her ability to do the job. This is what made her different than Kamala Harris, and this is what makes her better than Secretary Mayorkas. Let's look at her record as the governor overseeing her National Guard, right? Because we were having a border problem during this Biden-Harris administration. We have a border problem. We have an illegal immigrant problem. You know what she did during her time as governor under this regime of presidency Biden, that is Biden-Harris? You know what she did? She deployed her local law enforcement and state guard to the border. She went down to the border on several occasions. She's worked with governors across this country and Abbott to stop the surge at the border. She deployed men because Biden and Harris would hold back the reins for their border patrol. They would not deploy the military. And so she knew there was a problem and she sent men to deal with it. She worked with Governor Abbott and did regular press events to cover that story. Why are we questioning her credibility? Why are we questioning her ability to do the job? That was one of the biggest things that pissed me off watching some of the criticisms coming at her. Now, I knew the mainstream media was going to say this stuff about her, but I don't really watch the mainstream media. I watch the 5 on Fox News, and that is the one that pissed me off. Now, I've said to you guys on several occasions, ladies and gentlemen, I have, okay? And I only watch the 5 for Judge Pirro and Greg Gutfeld. But here's what bothers me. Right? This is what bothers me the most about the 5 is that, when you have individuals like Judge Jeanine Pirro, who personally I wanted to be the Attorney General of the United States. I wanted her to oversee the DOJ. How years ago you were celebrating this woman, how you were celebrating her as being a great governor. But now all of a sudden, we can't trust that she's going to do a good job as the Secretary of Department, Homeland Security. Now all of a sudden, we can't trust it. Come on. Come on. It makes no sense. But I'm going to show you guys some of this coverage because it bothered me. It bothered me. I'm going to show you guys because, you guys don't even know. You don't know. Let me just play it.
what happened at Butler. Highly intelligent guy, former Green Beret. I have a lot of respect for him. He's going to have a lot of influence. Noem surprised me. So I did not see Noem coming. I woke up this morning. I see Kristi Noem, Homeland Security. Wow. It's a big job. Judge and I were just saying she oversees FEMA.
What does that mean? It's a big job. Like, what? You're not sure she can handle this? Why are we not sure? Why are we questioning her?
Secret Service and Border Patrol. That is a lot of responsibility. We will have to wait and see if she can execute at that high of a level. We have
like the dog,
not the dog. Her duties.
Parallel experience.
Slotkin, don't know much about her. Zeldin, I'm not sure.
Not Slotkin, Stepanek.
Oh, sorry. I get those two confused.
Why? Because they're women?
Different.
No, just white women.
Okay.
Zeldin, I don't even know if the guy's ever been outdoors. It's funny.
That's hilarious. I want to get the right to judge him.
You see what I'm saying? It's like they're kind of.
I think that because the election was over so quickly, who are comfortable talking to the press, comfortable going on shows, they're very articulate. They can make.
Now, this is her talking about Trump's border czar pick and Marco Rubio for another position. I believe he's being picked for Secretary of State. Personally, I wanted Tulsi Gabbard for that job, but maybe he's got something else for Tulsi. I would, like Jesse and everyone else, I was not expecting him to tap Kristi Noem for anything in his administration. Again, I totally thought this was going to be a president-governor relationship. Was not expecting anything more than that. And so to find Kristi on your Google feed and in your YouTube feed being picked to be the next secretary of DHS, unexpected. But it was just like when the DC universe picked Viola Davis to play Amanda Waller for Katniss. Did not expect it, did not see it coming. In fact, she wouldn't have been my pick. But once picked, you thought to yourself, perfect. This is the most perfect pick for that role. I think the same thing with Kristi Noem as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Why are we questioning this?
Make an argument. They're transparent. How do you compare a Blinken and a Mayorkas to, a Rubio and a Waltz? I mean, they are very savvy, seasoned, articulate, loyal individuals.
I got to say, this job is not about just talking to the press. There is some management skills involved. And most of the people that he's mentioned, with the exception of the border czar and the Green Beret gentleman, I look at Marco Rubio and I'm like, okay, well, outside of being in the Senate, what did you do and manage a staff for the Senate? How do I know you're going to make a great Secretary of State, right? There's a lot of press involved, but there's diplomatic interviews and things that have to be done, right? Conversations that have to be had with world leaders and other government officials from other nations. So there's more to the job than being comfortable in front of the press. Kristi Noem, again, did more than just talk to the press as the governor. On the contrary, she's done a hell of a lot to protect the interests of her citizens in South Dakota and the interests of this country when you look at what she's done at the border. I don't get it.
They are definitely loyal to Trump. I mean, whether that's good or bad. Look, Eric Holder said he was Obama's wingman, and he was proud of it. But whatever. Here's the thing. I think they're all great. I think that Homeland Security, that's a huge position, as Jesse and I were just talking about. A lot of agencies, Overseas Customs, Border Patrol, U.S. Immigration, FEMA, Secret Service, TSA. I mean, my gosh, that's a big job. That's all.
What do you mean that's all, Judge? What do you mean? Now, Jessica goes on to talk about how, she shot a dog and that Secretary Mayorkas is better than her. Hogwash. This is the guy who said that the border was closed. All the while, we're seeing caravans coming across. We've seen rush of the border. We're seeing Border Patrol being attacked by illegals. Yeah, this is not new. Okay, we don't like Mayorkas. So pretty much anybody that Trump picks is going to be better than Mayorkas. But why are we questioning, again, Kristi Noem's ability to do the job? And really, it all boils down to that damn dog. Who cares? She shot Cujo. Who cares? And you know what I find the most infuriating, specifically coming from Judge Jeanine and Jesse, is that a few years ago, during COVID, this was the woman who, not even the woman, let's take let's take sex out of this. She was the only leader in all of the Western world. And when I say the Western world, I'm not just talking about the United States, I'm talking about all of Europe, all of it, and all of North America, all of us, everywhere in the Western world. She is the only leader to not shut down her state, the only one to not shut down. It was so significant that her own citizens threw her a parade. That is what she did. When other states were shutting down and forcing us to have curfews and demanding people be 6 feet apart and demanding people be vaccinated, forcing people to work from home, she was literally the only leader in all of the Western world to say, no, I will not violate my citizens' right to work, to live freely, to prosper, to be outside, to live their lives. I will trust the citizens know what is best for themselves. That is what she did. On top of that, she managed the best tax cuts in her state under the Biden-Harris regime. She did that. She's sitting on a surplus. She lowered taxes, brought more business into her state, negotiations with Canada to bring more business in. There was such an exodus coming from California and Washington state that a lot of these people moved into her state. She's doing more for cybersecurity in South Dakota. She wants to make South Dakota the capital of cybersecurity training. And she's done that. She's reinvested in it. You know, for all of us conservatives who are all like, we're pro-life, did you know that South Dakota's abortion rate is down? You want to know why? Because her economy is booming, because she's doing everything she can to advocate for young parents and young mothers. You bring your economy up, you eliminate the need of convenience for abortion. Abortion rate is down in her state. For those of you who are so pro-life, we should be looking at what she's doing at her state. She's keeping China out of her state from buying up land. She believes that they are a huge threat. She talks about legal and illegal immigration. Why we have to limit those things. That legal immigrants still can't have the same benefits as American citizens. She looks at all of those things. She's criticized Pete Buttigieg on the job that he's done when you look at TSA. Now, customs, she's done all of this stuff in her state. Why are we surprised? Why are we asking, can she handle this job at a national level? I don't understand. She's worked with governors across this country, all conservative governors, might I add, to try and secure that border because the president wasn't doing anything. When you look at Biden and Harris and that failed border czar that she was tapped to be the vice president pick. She was on the short list. Why are we questioning if she can do the job? That shows me that just like the left, conservatives were looking at Kristi Noem for the exact same reasons. Identity politics. You were only looking at Kristi Noem because she was a woman and you wanted to prove that a conservative woman could do it better than a liberal woman. But that's still identity politics, is it not? Most of us who like Kristi Noem, we weren't looking at her because she was a woman. We were looking at her because she was the only one in all of the West to stay open and respect the citizens' rights. That's why we looked at her, that she would be the one to check the president to say, hey, don't do that. That's a violation. Eminent domain has to be respected. And the country, the taxpayer, cannot afford to pay every business in America to shut down. That we can't interfere in the lives of American citizens. We are not allowed to do that. That's why we were looking at her. I'm going to show you guys what her citizens did for her during COVID, because this was reported. Okay, the same people who were like, this is a big job. We got to see. I don't know. This is a big job, man. I don't know. I wasn't expecting it. None of us were, but I know she can handle the job. These are the same people who were celebrating her for her efforts during COVID. Now all of a sudden, we don't know.
It's a parade for you. Wave to them.
This was for her. These are South Dakotans. Working class, private citizens, first responders. These are the people that threw this woman a freaking parade because she respected their rights. And you looked across the entire world where presidents and leaders were shutting down and totally disrespecting the civil liberties of their people. She got a parade. And the same people that I'm watching question her ability to do the job are the same people who reported on this very parade that she got, celebrated her. They were comparing her to Governor DeSantis. And people said, no, Kristi Noem is better because she didn't shut down at all. He shut down for 2 months. Granted, it's 2 months in where every other governor that was liberal, if you lived in New Jersey or areas like New York, they shut down for years. But Kristi Noem didn't shut down at all. She was better than Governor DeSantis. You saw the surge at the border. What did she do? She sent her own National Guard and her own local law enforcement down to the border, and she worked with Governor Abbott to secure that border. That's what she did. Why are people mad? Because she shot Cujo. That's what they're mad at. She shot Cujo. And people are pissed about that. And not people. I think it's these coastal folks, people who put their damn dogs in pocketbooks and dye their ears for holidays. This is the people who are mad about her shooting a Cujo. None of us cared. You know why? Because she respected our freedoms. She respected the rights of the American public. And this is why we were looking at her as the pick for vice presidency. I wasn't expecting her to be tapped for the role of Secretary of DHS. Was not expecting it at all. But when I saw her name, I instantly thought, this is perfect. She can handle the job. Why? Because I saw what she did as the governor of South Dakota and what she did for all of Americans when she deployed South Dakotans to the border. It's a big job, yes, but any federal position is a big job. Anything like that is a big job. But we're not questioning anyone else. I question Marco Rubio's ability to be the Secretary of State. I mean, I know that he does a lot of work in the Senate, but I mean, you don't have the management skills. You don't have the CEO skills the way Kristi Noem does as the governor. You don't. I'm sorry. He doesn't have the same resume as Kristi Noem. Now, maybe if she were picked for a Secretary of State, no one would say this is a big job because you've seen a woman do the Secretary of State position. But you guys are so like, wow, this is big because you've never seen a woman do it. Perhaps that's why they're questioning her ability. But again, this is about identity politics. If we want that horse to be dead, stop beating it. If you want it to, leave it alone. Bury it. Identity is irrelevant. Kristi Noem is going to do great in this job. I wish we were already in March of next year, and I wish we were already seeing our big story at the border and how she and the border czar have worked together to secure it, how she's unleashed the potential of Border Patrol, how we're seeing changes in customs at the airports, how we're seeing changes when it comes to legal immigration. I wish we were there already because I'm sick and tired of the conservatives, because I'm not talking about the mainstream media. The mainstream media is completely irrelevant in my opinion. They called this election all kinds of wrong. They kept calling it close when Kamala Harris got her ass beat. No one believed them. Well, the majority of us weren't believing them. So I'm not talking about their coverage of Kristi Noem. They're trying to focus on the fact that she shot a dog. And might I add, that story was only ran with because they tried to lie and say that she was having an affair on her husband. Now, there were all these rumors. No one could confirm that she was actually having an affair, but because Americans love their dogs. Americans love their dogs. Yeah, they do. We do. But no one likes Cujo. Shoot him. Put that dog down. You turn and you bite your owner. You attack my children. You attack the livestock, but can't do your job as a hunting dog. This characterization that the dog she shot was a family dog is a lie. Read the damn book. It was not a family dog. The dog was already about to be put down. She was its last chance. It needed to be a hunter. It wasn't that. It killed for sport and attacked her and her children. That dog needed to be put down. It's freaking Cujo, and Black and Hispanic Americans could have cared less. She was the perfect pick for vice president, and the only reason why she wasn't picked was because of the stupid dog Cujo scandal. This is a position that doesn't require the electorate to vote, and we can see what she's willing to do for the American public. That Cujo dog story be damned. No one was expecting this, but I'm sure as the hell happy that he picked her. And I hope that he picks her. Forget about that scandal. Don't think about it, Mr. President-elect. You know what she did as the governor. You know she was a kick-ass governor. You know what she did to secure that border as much as she could, considering Biden-Harris. You know what she's doing to fight against China buying up the land. You know what she's doing as far as negotiations come with Canada and bringing in more business. You know what she's done as far as increasing cybersecurity in her state. You know what she's done for the American public during COVID shutdowns. You know what she's capable of. Choose her. Let the American public see what she can do as a secretary of DHS. And let's put all of this nonsense of she shot Cujo to bed. Leave it alone. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. And if the conservatives don't care about identity, then we shouldn't be questioning whether she can handle the job or not. Because the only reason why you're questioning it is because you've never seen a woman in the position of the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security. It's the only reason why you're questioning it. It's the only reason why Judge Jeanine and why Jesse Waters are questioning her ability to do this job. It's the only reason. Because if you looked at her resume and you've been following everything that she's done as the governor, you would know she can handle this job. You would know it. I don't even live in South Dakota. And I know she's going to handle this job perfectly. Well as you can do, considering there's going to be a lot of controversial decisions that I know she's going to make. But hey, if she can shoot a puppy, right? If she can shoot a dog in spite of the scandal it was going to bring her, then I'm sure she's ready to make some very tough decisions. It's probably going to cause scandal. No one's going to care if it secures America. No one's going to care. But that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. This story got me excited, and I was so excited to see the reactions from conservative media, specifically on Fox, because I thought to myself, okay, in spite of the Cujo story, you all know she can handle this job. We know she can. We've seen her as the governor. She was on the short list to be the vice president. We were all looking at her during the 2020 COVID shutdown season. We were all looking at her to be tapped to be DeSantis vice president when DeSantis would make his run for the presidency. We all were rooting for her. And then this story broke, and then they all just kind of said, we don't need Kristi Noem anymore. But if you're good enough to do the job, then what does it matter? It's BS like this that make good people not want to run for office. It makes good people not want to involve themselves. And you need good people at the federal level. We can't trap them in their states. South Dakotans understood why she shot the dog. They weren't offended. People who lived in Montana, people who lived in flyover states, people who lived the lifestyle that she lived and herd cattle and go hunting regularly, yeah, they understood. They understood it, why she shot the dog. None. And those of us who watch Yellowstone and love these storylines and how groundy and, they can be and how tough that these characters can be. Yeah, but then when it happens in real life, you want to turn your back. And might I remind you folks that she was literally the only leader in all of the West to stay open. The only one in all of the West to respect your human rights. The only one to do that. And she's the one that he's picked to be the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. And people are pissed because she shot a damn dog? Put that into perspective. What's more important? The scandal of Cujo, because that's what that damn dog was, Cujo. Or the fact that she was the only one that respected our rights. The only one in all of the West to do that. Those of us who were living in states and shut down and lost our civil liberties because of these governors. We were watching that parade. We were watching her talk about respecting the citizens' rights and trusting them to make choices for themselves. Because freedom is the right of all sentient beings, and she knew that and respected it. She was the only one in all of the West to do that. But they want to talk to us about a damn Cujo. And they want to question her ability to handle the job, even though we're looking at her damn resume. I got a comment coming in from Above, Beyond, and Forever. Thank you so much for joining the live Above, Beyond, and Forever. I'm literally going on a rant because I am so sick and tired of the criticisms I'm hearing for Kristi Noem. People are questioning her ability to do the job. People are talking about her scandal and shooting a Cujo, as if any of that matters. We've seen her resume. We've seen what she's done for this country as just a governor. She put her best foot forward in trying to secure that border, despite the fact that she didn't have a president she can count on. She sent men to the border to protect America's interests. She sent soldiers, National State Guard. She sent police officers. She worked with Governor Abbott. She sat in meetings with governors across this country on how to secure the border, on how to deal with the fentanyl crisis. She got the abortion rate down in her state. And for those of us who are pro-life, that's a big deal, especially when you have a moderate law on the books about abortion. She's got the heartbeat bill. But why is abortion still low? She got her economy going, even when you look at what Biden has done with inflation and the economy. She did that. She did a lot to protect the American people in her state, to protect South Dakotans. And a lot of us who were suffering in blue states, yeah, we watched her do her job as the governor, and she got a freaking parade. Why? Because she respected that all sentient life has the right to freedom, and she did not have the authority to take it away, even though she was being encouraged by everyone to shut down. Everyone kept saying DeSantis is the best pick, that he did it best during COVID. No, he didn't, because he violated the rights of his people for 2 months. I got another comment coming in from Above and Beyond. America has become so soft and weak, and when people who can do the job stand up, they are punished for it. You're damn straight, Above and Beyond. That is the understatement of this millennium. They are so pissed that she shot Cujo, but then go home and watch Yellowstone. And they love how tough Kevin Costner is. The first episode, he shot a freaking horse. Was it heartbreaking? Yes. But was it necessary? Yes. Why is it when you hear that one of the people being picked for VP does the exact same thing? Was it sad? Of course it was. Does she want to shoot a dog? No, she doesn't. But the second it turned on its owner, it turned on the livestock, it turned on her children, this dog has to be put down. And I'm its last chance. Yeah, I got to put it down. And she did that. And really, who gave a damn? Everyone who lived on the coast. And these are the same people running around with damn cowboy hats in the cities because I love Kevin Costner and Yellowstone. Yeah, but you know damn well you couldn't live that life. You know damn well you couldn't. I got a story to tell you guys, and then I'm going to get out of here. When I first moved here to Texas, I was renting a room in this area called Oak Cliff. Won't go into too much details about where exactly I was living, but it was like people were dumping dogs down here. And there was this one particular dog that was so hostile. It was a pit bull boxer mix. That was this dog. This dog was bred. Okay. And I don't know why the owners put it out of its house, probably because it was violent as all hell. Demon dog, if you ask me. I would walk home because I didn't have a license then. I was taking public transportation. I would walk home and, the sun goes down at a certain time. So I'm walking home. It's late. Street lights are on. I'm walking home. This damn dog comes at me and got me pinned up against the damn fence. And I'm standing there still. I'm on the phone with the police. I need you to come get this dog because I don't know what it's going to do. I need you to come put this dog down. They took 4 hours to get to me. When they get to me, I told them, if I had a license to carry and I had a gun on me, I would have shot that dog. Oh yeah, we're not allowed. You're not allowed to shoot dogs unless they're coming at you. Coming at me. He's got me pinned. Yeah, well, you wouldn't be able to do that. You'd have to, it has to be charging at you. Let me get this straight. There's a Cujo loose on the street, regularly harassing the people that are walking up and down the street. This one dog does this, and no one has the authority to put it down just for the sake of it, to keep the community safe. No one has the right to just shoot this dog when they see it. We have to wait to be attacked. What is the point? Shoot this dog. It's Cujo. Put it down. So now you got Governor Noem, who's talking about how she's running her family ranch because she inherited from her father. She's running her family's ranch. She's doing the job. She's got another rancher who's about ready to put this dog down themselves. She says, no, I'll take the dog. Read the book because she goes in depth. I'll take the dog because she doesn't want the dog to be put down. She wants to be its last chance. This dog is meant for hunting. That's why this dog was bred in the first place. The dog doesn't hunt, okay? It's not doing its job, but we'll see what else I can do with this dog. Maybe I can keep it in the house. The dog attacks her children, okay? Can't leave the dog in the house. I got to put it outside. It doesn't stay in the gate. It goes and attacks the livestock at the ranch over to her. And then when she goes to get the dog, after killing the livestock of the ranch next door, it goes to bite her. No, I'm putting this dog down. You don't want to take a life. Of course, she's going to say it was hard doing it because no one wants to kill anybody. But this dog is dangerous. And I was its last shot. So I'm putting it down. Fast forward. She can't be the vice president because America loves their dogs. Okay. So the woman who respects everybody's right to freedom can't be the vice president because she shot Cujo. Okay. Okay. But you're going to go ahead and choose who you choose for vice president. That's fine. There'll be a position for you later, Trump probably said to Kristi Noem, because she is a loyalist. We got that, after all, when she wasn't running in the primaries because she knew she wasn't beating Trump. So she's like, no, when Trump is done running, then I'll consider making my bid for presidency. So we know she's loyal. Okay, there's a position for her. We don't know what that is. Haven't heard from Kristi Noem in a long time. The last time I heard from Kristi Noem, she was doing an interview on Fox News, Fox Business. I want to say maybe yesterday or on Friday. Okay, last time I heard from her, again, talking about the Trump victory, the landslide, what we can expect. And I'm thinking she's going to talk about why she's excited to work with him as a governor to the president. That's what I'm expecting. Fast forward to today. You wake up in the morning. Kristi Noem is all up in your Google feed, and you're like, what the heck is up? She's picked for the Secretary of the DHS position. What? Did not see that coming. This is going to be perfect. Why? She puts the American people first. How do I know that? She deployed men to the border. How do I know that? She's keeping China out of South Dakota. How do I know that? Any research as it relates to cybersecurity is staying in South Dakota. Hasn't left it. How do I know that? When people were fleeing California and Washington State and coming to South Dakota, she worked with those families. She worked with those people. When she was working with family trying to leave Canada because, Trudeau was terrible. She was working with Canada, negotiating with Canada on how she can bring this family and their business into the state of South Dakota. See, this is how I know she's going to do the job well. Because, of course, you got to deal with national stuff to try and get Canadians to come into your state. Right? You can't just skip that. You can't go around the laws at the federal level. You got to go through them, and she knows that. So she's got to work with the Biden administration to try and work with Canada to bring these people and their business into South Dakota. This is what she did as governor. This is how I know she's going to do good. It's her resume. Her being a woman, cherry on top. Cherry on top. I just wanted her to be the vice president because I knew her resume, not because she was a woman. And all these people on the right in the conservative media who are sitting here saying that we don't know, this is a big job, we got to see how she handles the position, not taking into consideration her resume, not considering the facts that they were celebrating her during the shutdowns. Because again, the only state that didn't, the only leader in all of the world to not shut down, giving her kudos for that. But now we don't know if she can do the job. because we've never seen a woman be in this position. But if identity politics is dead, to quote Jesse Waters, Judge Pirro, and Greg Gutfeld, to quote them, if identity politics is irrelevant, if it doesn't matter, if it's dead, if it's all about policy, if it's all about results, if it's all about the resume, then we shouldn't be questioning her ability to do it. Because if that were the case, if this isn't about identity, then you should be questioning if Marco Rubio is perfect for the position to be Secretary of State. But that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. I swear to you, I had to go on a rant and rave about what I've been hearing about Kristi Noem. I think she's going to do great in this position. I'm so excited to see the work that she's going to do working with Trump's border czar, how she's going to unleash the power of the Border Patrol at that border. And because I know she's willing to make tough decisions, just looking at the Cujo story, and because I know that she's willing to protect the freedoms of the American public, considering how she handled the COVID shutdowns across America, I know she's going to do great. And I already wish we were 3 months into the Trump administration so we can see her in the job, because you know there's going to be a controversy that pops up. You know she's going to get in front of the media and say, we did what we had to do to protect the American people. And I don't really give a damn what the mainstream media says. I don't really give a damn what the cartels are saying. I don't really give a damn about how these so-called asylum seekers feel betrayed. I need to protect my people, the American people. But that's my time, folks. Let me know what you think in the comment section when this live ends. I did tell you all that I would put Ruth's Retreat House donation tab in the comment section. I will be doing that for you guys right now. It is the season of perpetual hope. So if you're willing to donate your dollars and help us reach that $1,000 we need so we can make as many Thanksgiving meals as possible,